Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to another classic Doctor Who review. Today we're going to look at yet another historical, but just like Marco Polo, this one has some bits that are, well, missing. And that, of course, is the Crusade. Let's get things started. The TARDIS materializes in 12th century Palestine during the time of the Third Crusade. When the Doctor, Ian, Barbara, and Vicky emerge, they find themselves in the middle of a Saracen ambush. In the confusion, Barbara is seized by a Saracen from behind, while the rest of the TARDIS crew stop the attackers from killing William de Tournebreau and associated King Richard. They realize Barbara is missing, but she has been gagged and is being tied up by the Saracens. William des Pro, another companion of the king, is also captured by Saracens and pretends to be Richard in order to protect him. The Doctor, Ian, and Vicky agree to take the wounded Tournebreau back to Richard's court, but first must steal clothes from the market in order to blend in. They call Barbara's name, but though she can hear them, she is unable to cry out and is taken away by the Saracens. Meanwhile, Depro and Barbara are presented to Saladin's brother Saladin by Ella Keir, who mistakenly believes them to be King Richard and his sister, Lady Joanna. When Depro reveals their true identity, Ella Keir is furious, but before he can act, Saladin emerges from hiding and prevents any violence from occurring. Saladin is intrigued by Barbara, who tells of having met Nero, and tells her she could become her new Sherazade. She could become the new Sherazade, okay. The Disguised Doctor and company bring the injured de Tournebreau to the king's court. They are met by Richard, who witnessed their fight during the ambuscade. The king, however, is in a foul mood, and treats the TARDIS crew very curtly. Ian, anxious to rescue Barbara, asks for the king's help in rescuing her, but the irritated monarch tells Ian that Barbara can remain with Saladin until her death. De Tournebreau and the Doctor are able to convince the king to change his mind by playing up the embarrassment Saladin will feel when it's revealed he has not actually captured the king. Richard is amused and asks the Doctor to join his court. He is sent Sir Ian of Jaffa so that he may serve as a proper emissary, and is sent to Saladin's court to both request the release of Despero and Barbara, and to offer the hand of the real Lady Joanna in marriage to Saladin in order to create peace. When Joanna learns of these plans, she's infuriated and tells her brother she will not consent. You go, girl. Ian, after delivering his message to Saladin, asks leave to continue to search for Barbara, which Saladin grants. During the search, Ian's attacked by bandits and knocked out. When he claims to have no money, one of the bandits, Ibrahim, ties him down with stakes in the hot sun and daubs him with honey. He tells Ian the ants will soon loosen his purse strings. Barbara is kidnapped by Ella Keir and taken to his dominion, but manages to escape and is taken by Harun ed-Din, who defeats the guard looking for her. He is sympathetic because Ella Keir killed his wife and kidnapped his daughter, and now Harun is looking for revenge. Harun leaves to attack Ella Keir, but is knocked out by soldiers. They go to Harun's house, recapture Barbara, and bring her to Ella Keir. Ella Keir taunts Barbara with threats of death, but she once again manages to escape, this time hiding out in the Emir's harem. Ella Keir tries to find Barbara, but she is hidden by a sympathetic harem girl. Ian eventually tricks Abraham into untying his feet and overpowers him. Ian convinces the bandit to accompany him to Lydda and aid him in his quest for Barbara. Meanwhile, Barbara convinces the harem girl, Mimuna, to help her get out of the castle. Turns out Mimuna is Harun's long-lost daughter and, when she finds out her father is still alive, joyfully agrees to help. Before they can do so, another harem girl, Fatima, betrays them and Ella Keir bursts in on the two women. Ella Keir is about to attack Barbara when Harun arrives in the time and fatally stabs Ella Keir. Fatima screams, and two guards burst in. Ian arrives, and he and Harun subdue the guards. Harun and Maimuna are reunited, and Barbara and Ian head for the TARDIS. The Doctor, who has been trying not to get caught up in court politics, attempts to make a break for the TARDIS. He's caught by the Earl Leicester, who thinks the Doctor is a spy for Saladin. He sentences the Doctor to death. Ian arrives and, presenting himself as Sir Ian of Jaffa, tells Leicester that the Doctor is a spy and that he is here to carry out the execution. The Doctor plays along and asks for one last chance to see Jaffa before he dies. Leicester agrees, and the Doctor is able to sneak away to the TARDIS with the rest of the crew and leave. When Leicester and his knights see the TARDIS vanish, they agree to keep the story quiet so as not to look like fools. On board the TARDIS, the crew enjoy a good laugh over their escape. As the TARDIS prepares to land, the power fails and all the interior lights dim. the crew freezed into immobility. Yeesh, that's a lot of stuff for the Doctor and his company to go through. Well, let's take a look at the continuity and production of the story, shall we? Barbara tells Saladin of the travelers' recent adventures on an alien world ruled by insects in Rome at the time of Emperor Nero, and in England 1,000 years in the future. Copies of the 4 episodes were believed lost in the mass junking of episodes in the 1970s, with BBC Enterprises junking their copies. The BBC Film Library retained a copy of The Wheel of Fortune that it had accidentally acquired, but a copy of The Lion had been junked from the library in 1972. In 1999, a film copy of The Lion was discovered by Neil Lambeth and Paul Scoons in the collection of Bruce Grenville, a film collector in New Zealand. The New Zealand Broadcasting Corporation had acquired the stories in 1960s, but did not transmit it. The story had been thought to be one of the very few for which no author soundtrack was known to exist, until copies were located in 1995. The first episode of the subsequent story, The Space Museum, begins with a brief clip of the finale of episode 4, The Warlords, where the time travelers stand in period costume around the Dark's console, literally frozen in time. It is confirmed as a clip rather than a restaged scene by an off-camera cough on the soundtracks to both The Warlords and The Space Museum. This is the only known surviving footage from the final episode. In episode 3, William Russell appears in only a pre-filmed insert as he was on holiday. Julian Glover was cast by Douglas Camfield to play King Richard I. Glover would return to Doctor Who to play Scarth in the City of Death. Jean Marsh, who played Princess Joanna, would play Sarah Kingdom in The Dog's Master Plan and Morgaine in Battlefield. Marsh was married to third Doctor actor John Pertwee from 1955 to 1960. Bernard Kay had appeared in The Dalek Invasion of Earth. He later appeared in 2 more serials, The Faceless Ones and Colony in Space. Roger Avon later played Daxter in The Dalek's Master Plan. Tony Conter later played Morgan in Colony in Space and Jackson in Enlightenment. Jude Lemkow previously played Creed Jew in Marco Polo and would appear again as Cyclops in The Mythmakers. Gabor Baraker had also appeared in Marco Polo as Wang Lo. So, very interesting story, huh? And also, for those of you who don't know, Julian Glover, he was also in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Get it? So, what do I think of this story? Well, as far as historicals go, this one is actually pretty damn good, and it's a pretty interesting look at the Crusades. I mean, it doesn't go into stuff like the Holy Grail, which everyone knows is instrumental to Crusade lore, but on that, it's a pretty decent, solid story. So, I give Doctor Who, The Crusade, 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Join me next time for another look at classic Doctor Who with the Space Museum. Until then, this is Whovian Queen saying, "Oh my giddy aunt, when I say run, run!" I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow. Would you get a jelly, baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo! Bow ties are cool, vests are cool, and Stetsons are cool.